Okay, good day, guys. Welcome to today's course. So today we'll be talking about how to use key levels together with our trend line. Now, I'm not going to waste your time. One thing I would just say first is when you are marking your key levels and your trend lines, you need to have a good understanding of what trend lines are and also what key levels are. For you to have a good understanding of them, I have the previous videos on the course, the day one and the day two. So you can go and check out the day one and the day two. Now, after I haven't done that, the next thing I will say is when you are marking your key levels and you are marking your trend line, you do them on the 4 hour and the 1 hour charts. You get, even if you are a scalper or you are a swing trader, but I am just saying it from my perspective. So if you try it and it works for you on lower time frame or a bit higher than the 4 hour, then you should proceed with it. There is no reason why you should stop it because price is fractal. You get. So without saying much, let's dive into the chart. Now, I'll first of all go to my 1 hour chart and I will explain this trade that I am on now, this USD JPY trade that I'm on. I will explain it using the trend line and I'm sorry for that, and the key level. Now, as you can see here, my key level was picked on the 1 hour chart. On the 4 hour chart, then I refined it to the 1 hour. I refined it to the 1 hour, so it should be somewhere here. But there's a reason why I'm putting this here. This is based on experience. So let's say I am picking this as my key level. As you can see there, that is an A level right there, a support level. If I put it on the line chart, if I put this chart on the line chart now, you get to see it. So let me put it on the line chart. So you can see that's an A level there. So this is an A level. So let's say I'm putting my entry at that point. So my entry is at this A level here. Now what you will ask yourself is what um, what trend line can you see aligning with that level there? And what I can see this. Okay, it's not aligning well. Is that aligning? Let me see if that will align well. No, it did not. So you look for other ones that you can see that will align perfectly with that spot. I think I need to go to the line charts. The line chart helps you to see them well. So if you look at this, we have kind of a break and retest right here. So it's not a must that it must look very just turned on. If you have something that works, you should look for a way to say yes, this is subjective. So as you can see, I'm trying to be subjective here. So you can see it touched this point 1, this point 2, and then the third touch is this one that aligns with the key level. Now, most people will think it will just touch a point like this and fall. No. As long as it touched here and it did not close above the trend line, that means the trend line was respected. And you don't look at this engulfing and engulfing when you want to mark. You look at the trend line chart. So I always advise newbies to look at the trend line when they want to mark. So you put it at the levels on the trend line. So you can see it touched this level here, it touched this level here. So then you can now go to your candlestick and you see how it looks like. So you can see it did not close above that trend line, so that means that trend line was used. So that's that one. So this is the one I entered yesterday. I think this should be the trend line. So you can see the trend line like this. That is the trend line. So if I go to the line chart, you will see how it aligns very well. So I'm going to put it to touch. Now if you look at it, it did not close with a body below, so that means that trend line was respected. Now another thing people do is you can mark your first one from the engulfing candle and then give space for your other one. You can say you want to mark the other one from the week, anywhere from the week. So anywhere you mark it from the week, there is no problem. So you can just do it like this and you can enter from here, this QMR. This would have been the perfect entry to enter, but I was afraid of miss entry. That is why I did not enter it. So you can see if I had entered it like this, price would have missed it. So you see, this would have been the perfect entry, but you would have had a miss entry there. You can see that's a QMR entry plus trend line, but price would have missed that. You get. So that's the reason why I entered it off this particular one up here. So everything I'm doing here comes with experience. So if you want to mark it, just remember engulfing. This one I'm marking now is engulfing to engulfing candle. Engulfing 1, buy and sell. sorry, sell and buy engulfing 1, sell and buy engulfing 2. So when you mark it like that, you can now, as long as the body did not close below the trend line, that trend line is valid. So let's look at this third one here, which trend line would go perfect with it. Let's see. Now if you look at this now, if I had marked it like this is the trend line. You see that there is body close above. So once there is body close above like this, you know that that trend line is not a perfect trend line. So you look for other things that can go there. So this would have been the perfect trend line. 1, break, retest. So this is like a break and retest trend line. You get. So you remember you mark it from 2 touches. So this is your first touch for your break and retest to be valid, and this is your second touch. So that means that break and retest was not valid. So if you had marked it from here now, from here like this 1 and this other one 2, you would say this is a perfect trend line, but no. For you to consider this a break and retest trend line, it must touch 2 points. So it must touch 1 and another one, then you can call this a break and retest. So this is not a perfect trend line. You get. So you look for other ones that you can see. Let me see. No, they are aligned. So I will go to the 4 hour now to see if there is anything on the 4 hour at that point. So let me see. If there is none, I will just leave it at that. So I'll put it on the line chart. Now let's see. This is the entry I'm looking at here. Okay, I think I have my QM arrow there. The QM arrow trend line. So if I put it on the line chart, on the candlestick chart rather, you will see it did not even touch. Okay, let me draw it well. I think this should be it. Let me go back to, yeah, this should be it. So 1, it broke it second time, and then it came back. So this is my QM arrow entry, the one that I do yesterday in the previous class, where you go like this. You have your QM arrow, like this, then you mark your trend line from the QM arrow. So this is your QM arrow here. Then this is your entry for the QM arrow. So you mark your trend line to align with your QM arrow like that. So that is it. This is the QM arrow trend line. So that's what I'm having here. So that is what aligns with that one. So let's look at this. This one I think is very, very clear. You have 1, 2, break and retest. So you can see 1, 2, break and then retest. If I go to the candlestick chart, you will see more clear there. So you can see, touched it first time, I entered, second time and I entered. I saw this one, today I entered this one. So yeah, that should be it. So for more video guys, you guys should just stay tuned to my channel, the YouTube channel, and also my Telegram page. Yeah, thank you guys. God bless.